Hey guys, John here from the rxreview.com, and today we're doing a buyer's guide for bumper plates. Once again, I'm joined by Bass from SPS Gear, and Bass, of course we know that bumpers are a big commitment, spend a lot of money on them. What are some tips we should know before we make that big purchase?
There's probably three things you want to look at: construction, the bounce, and the dollars, obviously, what's it cost you.
All right, let's talk about construction. Seems to be the most important thing about a bumper plate. What should we know about the construction of a plate?
All right, construction of a plate, this is the basic economy model with just the steel insert, the small steel insert through it. You can go to the elite level and get the big insert in the middle, a little more pricey, a lot better quality, they'll last you a lot longer. With the construction, you want to get something that's not too hard, not too soft. Obviously, more urethane they put in it, what tends to happen, they split down the middle, chunks fall off it. Make them too soft, they bounce too high, hit people in the face, hit people in the fingers, gets a bit dangerous. All right, with this one here, it's a two-piece. So what happens, we've got an aerated rubber on the inside, and then we skin it from the outside with the color. With the centers, this is the basic economy model. Nice tight fit on the 50mm, not too loose. What tends to happen if they're too loose, they get a lot of noise, a lot of rattle on the bar. Yeah,
you were saying that before, so the gap between the actual plate and the bar, if that's too big, of course, it's going to rattle a lot, which is going to cause a lot of deterioration to the bar, to the plate as well, is that right?
Exactly, and you'll find you get a lot of pitting on the end of your bar as well from all the hammering up against it. Another thing you want to look out for is obviously the hardness of the compound. The louder it hits the ground on the bounce, obviously the harder the compound of the plate. This will then transfer into your barbell and then affect your bearings or bush, whatever you've got on your bar. You want to have it so it's just a nice gentle hit on the ground with just a minimal bounce, but obviously nothing that's too hard. That's going to, as you know, if anyone's dropped an empty bar in a gym and everyone sort of goes, cringe, when it hits the ground, that's what it's doing to your barbell.
So is there a preferred compound you would use on a plate?
We use our own special mix. Obviously, some of the guys will do it to make the compound a little bit softer. They'll make the plates thicker. Okay. Again, we found that with this one here that this is pretty good for us. Something like this will last you about 5 years plus in a gym environment.
Okay, and of course, thickness of the plates is also obviously an important part as well when you're stacking up and you've only got limited space on the bar.
Exactly, and that's where those elite bumpers with the steel inserts come in, and they're a little bit thinner again, and you can actually fit a lot more of those competition plates on the end.
Okay, and of course, price is a big factor for anyone buying stuff. How much do you think you can get away with spending if you're I suppose, a small backyard gym workout person, or if you're an affiliate owner, how much would you spend?
Well, affiliates, I'd say probably spending around $60 plus on a 10 kilo plate. Yeah. Reason being, you want something that's going to last you, and you don't want to spend too much money because you got to buy like 100 plus bumpers for your box. And what tends to happen, every dollar seems to count then, after you've bought the first 5-6 bumpers, you go, oh, I can get an extra one in there. If you're going to do it for yourself at home, spend a bit more money, get the elite sets. Yeah. You only got to buy one set, so it's not going to be so much out of your pocket. Okay, and finally, 5 kilo plates. I've been to a few CrossFit gyms in my life, and I've seen 5 kilo plates everywhere. Is it possible to find a plate that doesn't split? Of course you can, depending on how much you want to spend. That comes down to the dollar figure at the end. You can spend $150 on an aluminium plate with super rubber on the outside, and that'll last you. With the basic ones for the box, with what people want to spend on them, no, they will not last the 5 years. They'll last you 1, 2, maybe 3 years if you're lucky. The key is to get you guys not to drop them from overhead. Okay, well Bass, thanks for your time once again, and if you want to find out more about Bass's products, you can head to his website, spsgear.com. That was an awkward handshake. See you next time. See you next time.